Hello, everybody, and welcome along to Steakdorra, the Explorer's Review, REL 1 and 3A, Week 4, or Preview Week 4, Review Week 3, that thing. The title is Week 4. Hello.
Hello. I should move my microphone closer to my face.
That would probably help.
Now it is closer to my face.
I'm sure your face appreciates that.
Or I'm sure everyone's about to appreciate the ASMR Chinese food eating I'm about to give them. There's some water chestnuts. They're very crunchy. It'll get a good sound out of that.
You know, water chestnuts, I think, are underrated. Like, water chestnuts
Agreed,
are
yeah.
delicious.
Super. There's excellent texture. Like, in terms of it's something you find and you're like a surprising texture you encounter in a dish. Top 10, I think.
Yeah. Those, like, you know, sort of frozen, like, pre-made vegetable mix things you sometimes find that people will, like, use in, like, various dishes. My favorite ones are always the ones with the water chestnuts in them. Just because you get the nice little water chestnut bites, and those are great.
These are canned, so they have a bit more flavor. And, like, I mean, I can show you if you want. My partner made...
I can't see it. Well, I mean, I could, but not very easily. I
mean, it's cashew chicken and black pepper beef that my partner made because we were like, let's make some bullshit Chinese food. The white thing is rice, as you might expect. We have a really fancy rice cooker that makes amazing rice. So
I had like a hash sort of thing. You know, there's like ground chorizo and caramelized onions, peppers, roasted potatoes. Sort of like mixed up in a bowl with like a parsley aioli and a fried egg or sunny side up egg.
Was it an actual aioli or it was just the thing that Americans call aioli?
A thing that Americans call aioli because it was just like stuff mixed together to give mayonnaise flavor.
Yeah, so flavored mustard or not flavored mayonnaise is what Americans call aioli, but actual aioli is basically it doesn't use one of the main ingredients in mayonnaise. It doesn't use eggs, maybe? But it's like an actual thing. Anyway.
Yes, I know. A flavored mayonnaise. And then, you know, a sunny side up egg. And it was very nice and kind of breakfasty. Anyway, let's do real things because we don't have a million years to waste on talking about breakfast. And by breakfast, I mean dinner. But my dinner was kind of breakfasty, which is why I was thinking about that. We have a match from REL 1 to watch. Somebody actually did message us about a match to watch, and we did want to. It was Vormarin. We wanted to call that out because we think that's useful and important. And
it's Veda. Are Veda and Vormarin the same person?
Yes, Veda is his Discord thing. Vormarin is his coach name.
Okay, just want to make sure.
But we watched REL 3 last week, and we want to stick with the pattern for now, especially since we're pretty early in the season. Plus, how could we not watch the match we're going to watch from REL 1, which is Superfed and Holing, where we have two low TV teams that are used to getting inducements against other teams because they have like 4 players each playing against each other, where no one gets inducements. It's also Rats versus Wood Elves, which very well may just be a fun time. So we're going to check that out, and then we'll do our standard review things. Shall we get into it?
Yeah.
I do want to thank Vormarin again for messaging us about their game because it is very helpful. Sorry we didn't get to it, but these are
I mean he not motivated. He offered up a game that he lost, so you know you could all strive to be.
And if this was literally any other week, we would have instantly watched that, I think. But we just really wanted to see this one. So thank you for that again. We are in the game, and I'm ready to go if you are. 3, 2, 1, play. Get these skills up. And we are in the Nuffles altar, but I don't think that matters because I'm pretty sure no one had any money.
Well, Fed could have sprung for something with basically all of his bank, but we said it was pretty unlikely.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, he was in his stadium, so the cheapest thing he could have gotten is spent like 50K or whatever, 70K, something, some number on like Fez glitch, which isn't very useful here. All the other star players are probably too expensive, given the fact that they're so close in TV, and you'd have to spend money. So like neither coach actually has anything here. Well, that's a start.
Yep.
Wow.
I can hear Fed cursing from here.
At least it's just a KO, but man, that is one of the two tackle pieces, and definitely the better tackle piece, just instantly off the field, which one of his main ways to sort of stop the elves from stalling is to like just kill the elves, and that is one of the scary pieces that can do that. Well, that's a start too. I'd be fairly happy about how things are starting if I was holding.
Yeah, there's no bench for either team, so that means that it is now. Well, it's obviously 9 and 11, but it is permanently 10 and 11 at best,
or worst, depending on how you're looking at it.
Until Fed snaps back to reality.
Oh, there goes gravity.
Interesting that he made a 1 in 9-able block before a sure hands pickup.
Yeah, although good thing it was
like, would he have re-rolled the block? I wonder.
Good thing it was sure hands.
Yes, I mean that does save you re-rolls.
I mean, I think you would have had to have re-rolled that if you didn't make the block, because otherwise, you know, you've got those two like speedy.
I mean, the ball was pretty safe where it was, but I mean, not really. But like, there was a lot of dice between. It
was like a 3+
Fed and the
dodge.
Ball.
And that was about it.
I mean, there's a double screen. It wasn't just nothing. Ooh, gets an injury. Piling on is a good skill, it turns out.
Well,
so 1-1 in terms of permanent removals.
Evening it up. Both loners too, so there you go. Now Fed is going to have to be careful to not let that piling on get fouled, because
I mean, I don't think Wood Elves are going to be doing much fouling. I mean, you say will be fouled. I don't think it's actually that likely.
Would likely be fouled if you are capable of getting a good foul on it, and right now you don't because of these two loners.
Yeah, so the loners are making it tough. Like, Fed is respecting the foul, I think.
Yes.
Especially there. Like, this is basically you can take the ball wherever you want, but I am going to
try to kill you in the process.
Yeah, and defend my dirty player. Well, actually, no, the dirty player just got punched. But the dirty player's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think will be fouled is definitely a strong statement. Has the opportunity to be fouled, and I would definitely consider it even as the Wood Elf is a thing. But it has to be pretty favorable, I would imagine.
So no, one thing Holing can do here is actually move out of range of the piling on completely.
Yeah, he doesn't have jump up. So he can only move.
And I would recommend, like, if Fed's just going to give you the entire right-hand side of the pitch and your dirty players, like, this is a great turn for Holing to just be completely out of Mighty Blow piling on range.
Yeah, Fed's not too worried about Holing scoring because he knows he can score when he needs to. And if Holing scores, you get 3 LOS hits, also a chance to get your Mighty Blow back from a KO.
You know, he's really got this this line rat locked up.
That line rat
is he going to double
nowhere.
Now, Fed's probably going to double GFI here. It looks like he's planning to double GFI here.
To hit with the piling on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do, right? Like, who else are you going to hit that's useful? The main thing you're trying to accomplish here is making the elves go away, and the best way to do that is to hit with the piling on Mighty Blow, even if it requires GFIs.
Doesn't move any of the gutter runners first.
Well,
goes one at a time. Yeah. Block is good, too.
And the piling on? Fed channeling his inner Robbie here. Just every turn, it's about hitting an elf and piling it on. Who cares about the ball?
I mean, that is 100% what he should be doing. Gets the 1 die out of that.
I know.
Gets the loner
correct.
free.
It's just funny, because it seems like that's not really what you expect in, like, Skaven Wood Elves, but it's the right choice given the tools that, you know, that he has available. I think it's just funny. It's not really what you expect, like, intuitively.
So one thing Fed is definitely lacking this game is a good sacker. and he doesn't have his usual wizard, so he's not going to be able to get the ball away from the Wood Elves very easily. His only out is attrition, really.
Pretty much, yep.
And his superior one turning.
Yeah, so the superior one turning plus attrition motivates you pretty strongly to just try to remove an elf and let them score whenever they want to, really, because then you just counter score. And the longer
Rats are being fairly sturdy so far.
And if they score, you get LOS hits. If they don't score, you blitz somebody every turn.
Ooh, we are fouling the Palmer.
I think it's worth doing.
Doesn't even get a stun, sadly, which is what you definitely were hoping to get out of that, at least.
If only we did something else first, because that was a double pow into an injury.
Well, it was so 6-6 into 4-4, so you wouldn't have really wanted to be the foul, because it would have been a... Is that even a KO? Is an 8 a KO? I think it is, yeah. Hoping to... No, can't really get any assists in on this War Dancer, so he's going to have to go after... Oh, goes for a 1-die there. That's spicy.
There got one.
There, got one.
That's 2 down.
The Kaz dice on both sides are pretty hot. That's
This is like more injuries already than I'm getting in like my games as Nurgle.
I mean, I think this is already more games than me and Soul had. That was a weird game where we had like 35 breaks between us and something like 6 removals. It was just a stun
Fiesta.
fest.
Stun fiesta.
Yeah.
All right, well, given that we're starting to lose players, do we score now or do we continue to wait? I feel like we're going to continue to wait given we're blitzing with the ball. That was aggressive. Man, I mean, like, it's very unlikely to fail, but dear Lord, am I ever scared of doing something like that.
We see a reroll loner thing here. KOing himself.
The loner fails and he KOs himself, so that's not great. Fed down 3 and holding down 3. Everyone
Is there a hit on the ball here? No, probably not.
With a gutter runner, if you want to like dodge a gutter runner in, but not really.
No. Loner hits on both sides, but holding the first one to 1 and 9.
Well, he didn't 1 and 9. He failed the loner.
No, he 1 and 9, and then he failed the loner.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. There you go. Another one.
Everything's an injury.
This is ridiculous. I wish.
I mean, I saw the stats for this and knew there was some punching that went down, but
I wish my Mighty Blow did this.
I think everyone wishes their Mighty Blow did this. I mean, the only thing really keeping Fed back at this point is that he's getting punched nearly as hard without Mighty Blow, but...
Yeah, that's true.
The Rock doesn't have Mighty Blow, right? I don't think it does, no. This is going to be a potentially big foul on the Palmer. Can we keep the ball safe and foul, though?
We're going to continue blitzing with the ball carrier.
I mean, it's a War Dancer. What could go wrong?
Double skulls.
Quad skulls? I mean, at that point.
I know.
It's bases him.
I'm just so... I understand.
We're praying.
Unlikely to fail. I'm just like so nervous about doing anything with the ball.
Oh, we do get the break. We get a stun, which is good enough to stop the attrition for 1 turn. Oh, and dub skull from a rat opener. His loner is good though.
Two loner rerolls so far.
Fed's got a chain push here. I don't know if it does anything.
No, it doesn't.
No, it 1 and 9s. Well, 2 1 and 9s.
Anything? Not really.
Would have pushed. You could have pushed the War Dancer. No, I don't think it
doesn't really do anything. War Dancer.
Some of you might be tempted to call that a dub skull, but it's not a dub skull. It's a 1 and 9.
This is silly. This is absolutely silly. Like it's Wood Elves with like superstars versus rats with superstars and no linemen.
I mean, they're already playing 7s. It is actually 7 on 7 right now.
And it's the loners beating the absolute shit out of each other.
Yeah, it's brutal. And we're coming in for a huge foul on the blitzer. This is the biggest Wood Elf foul I think I've ever seen.
This is ridiculous. Like the entire
loners are the best players.
the entire Wood Elf team fouling one player over and over again while just standing there blitzing with the ball carrier. The rats only have 7 players, but they have 3 of them hiding in the corner doing nothing.
I do love
just
the
beat
gutter
Wood
runner
Elves to death. Like, I don't understand.
I do love the gutter came in for a free 2 die on the catcher. I mean, like in my game versus Soul, I think I claw palmed something for the first like 3 turns with like not even a break, and then the first loner line red block I took killed a random lino.
Like the actual players on this team are literally just sitting off on the sidelines, and and all the loners, and there's directing the loners in battle against the Wood Elves.
It's pretty good. Yeah, just punch the pointy-eared guys until they stop moving.
We'll stay over here. You're doing great. Like, I just has the ball continuously, just like blitzes, going backwards. Like, oh man, to my like feeble little bash coach mind.
He's not worried about scoring. It turns out. So
to my feeble little bash coach mind, like, man, this is all
insanity.
Yeah, it's like
this is exactly how I expected this half to go.
It's like I have the ball and I'm running backwards away from the end zone to punch someone.
I mean, it's worth noting we can 1-die this ball. We can very easily 1-die this ball now because that didn't break. That was a 3 on a 4. Actually, we can 2-die the ball. Yeah, we can 2-die the ball.
We can 2-die the ball.
It's deeply funny.
Can we recover it depending on where the scatter goes? Yes.
Probably not. Well, you have to knock it down first, and that ain't gonna do it.
They're moving in for the kill. Nope, they're moving into scoring range. Oh, that's a stun. Is that the first time we've seen a block armor break that's a stun rather than an actual injury or KO? I think
a couple of the line rats.
I thought it was a fouls.
I don't know.
Well, now we can.
Anyway, pretty easy scoring, yeah. I can hear Fed's anger from here.
Man, Agi teams are dumb. Like it just like doesn't matter what you do. You just sit there and punch people for a while, and whatever they do, you're like, cool, I'll just go score anyway. Like it just doesn't matter. Oh, Agi teams. We get the rocked one back though, so that's really handy. We're gonna have to play the entire match with like 1 killer at a time instead of the standard 2, it seems, which is a little bit annoying. Oh no,
he's got another set of K rolls.
I thought it was the. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that this one was okay. For some reason, I thought that.
I mean, this is Fed's shot at a 1 turn. Actually, they both came back too.
Yep. We have both.
Because one of them wasn't KO'd. Yeah. Yeah. You're wrong on basically every front.
I saw one of them get back and was excited. Yeah, you just didn't let me explain it. I saw one of them come back and was excited and forgot the other one wasn't actually KO'd.
I'm sorry that you were too bafflingly stupid.
Yeah, so he gets 2. Or two Mighty Blow hits at least. Are we putting him over here so we can blitz? No, we can't reach, can we? No. I'm surprised we don't just line up.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Tackle Mighty Blow?
Maybe in case of a riot?
Well, we get a riot and a touchback, so not only do we not have to 1-turn, we also don't have to pick it up.
Well, you say not have to 1-turn. This is a little dangerous too, because Fed now doesn't want to score in 1, because then Holing has the chance to 1-turn.
Yep. But we do get 2 Mighty Blow piling on hits as part of this, which is pretty nice, considering every one of them seems to be an injury. Literally every time that rat punches anything.
Jesus Christ. Yep. That's a bit silly. What was I gonna say? That's gone. Whatever. This is a very stupid game already.
I know. It is very dumb. So are we going?
Hey, it's a stun.
Are we going to 1-turn? Or are we just going to try to like? The problem is,
No, I think you 2-turn.
Well, I think you should, but it's scary. It's scary in both ways, right? If you one turn, then he has a chance to one turn. If you don't one turn, you're gonna have to protect the ball a bit. And can you do that very well with those war dancers around? No, we're just gonna one turn. Okay.
Fair. Oh, 2 heads doing a thing. Yeah, sometimes when I'm like 2-turning, I'll do it with BMO, and then I'll watch teams try to like figure out how they can effectively screen off an Agi 6 player from scoring, and yeah, the answer is that you can't. You have to hit it. You have to hit it basically.
Yeah, you either have to hit it or you don't stack tackle zones. You do the thing that you do against stunties where you just make more tackle zones. Like, it doesn't matter if they're -3 or -1. Like, it's still going to be a 2+. You just want to have to make them roll more 2+s because maybe you roll a 1. And it's better than not doing anything. And, or better than just making, like, you know, a stacked tackle zone where they still only have to roll 2s. Well, now, Holing gets a chance to one turn, but his one turn is quite a bit harder, given that he doesn't really have the plus movements. And now at this point, he just doesn't have very many players to actually do the pushing. So, like, I think this probably makes sense in that, like, Superfeds is pretty much as reliable as a one turn gets, and Holing's is not. So you can rely a little bit more.
It's not, but it's still pretty likely. It's he needs 2 pushes. And then he's Agi 5 sure feet, so.
It turns out 2 pushes, though, are significantly harder than 0.
It's true. Yep. And also, yeah, no. Never mind.
Especially since most of those blocks have to be done by loners that aren't really reliably rerolled. Hey, an extra reroll for the 0 turns you have left. How very useful, game. Here comes the yeet. All good. I got the ball. Let the pushes begin. Never mind. Yes, mind. Just there's the reroll. Sidestep.
You're actually way ahead of me.
Sidestep actually does make this quite a bit easier.
Yeah, he had a grab tree when I played him that made it even more trivial.
Well, there are the 2 pushes. And off we go.
Now just some dodges.
Ooh,
some
did
GFIs.
fail one of the GFIs, but sure feed saves the day.
Pretty expected value there.
So we go into the second half, which is the Rats drive. With the Wood Elves down, still quite a few players, 4 out. Is a lot, and it is 2-1 for the Elves, which is nice, but they're already down.
Yeah, no, the Rats have another 1-turn shot. They get a turn 8 too. Then riots.
I forgot about the riot. It's very well manned, man. So the Rats now get another 2 tackle Mighty Blow hits, or Mighty Blow piling on hits, on the 7 Elves that currently exist on the field. Plus, it's incredibly likely that they finish 2-2. Man. Things do not look great for the Elves right now. And then, even after this, even if Superfed doesn't get this 1 turn, which he's very likely to get, especially given he now just needs 1 less GFI.
I don't know about incredibly likely. It's like, oh well, the quick snap makes it even more likely. But I think it's like 70% for a natural 1-turner.
That's incredibly likely to 1 turn.
It's like, you know, it's a bit better than a 3+. 3+ fail all the time.
You know how many like 3+s I have to roll to just like accomplish doing anything in a game?
I mean, it's trivial compared to a Nurgle 1-turn. It's true that compared to a non-natural 1-turn, it's hilariously likely.
So even if he doesn't get it, which is what the point was, we then go into his drive again, where he gets another 2 piling on Mighty Blow hits against the now 6 elves.
That's an interesting question, Sol. Especially given how likely the rat's 1-turn is and how significantly less likely yours is. I don't actually hate that. I think it might have been a better play to not give the rats more LOS hits.
Oh, well, yeah, and that's why
I know not scoring is something that elves don't do, but...
Well, and that's why I like the fact that Fed 1-turned even if he didn't need to because of the riot. Because, one, he probably... So his 1-turn is way more likely, so there's the potential that the elves fail theirs and then yours to head. And if the elves do get theirs, your 1-turn is still very likely, and you get another set of LOS hits. So
yeah.
like, I think it was good for him to 1-turn.
I think Fed made a good call, and I think Holing made a bit of a mistake by scoring there. It's true. He could have just turtled in the backfield, and the rats did not have a scoring threat because, of course, they would have had their 1-turner on the LOS for that, and that's not going to happen. So it would have been fine for them to just punch elves and maybe even move away from the Mighty Blow.
Because now we're going to get another set of 2 Mighty Blow piling on hits. And, the elves...
And it did result in another Kaz, right? If
it did.
Not more than another Kaz, yeah.
We're down to 6 elves. And another reroll for Fed. Not that he really needs it. Five
Fed
elves.
got that. Nice. I like that. Oh, you're way ahead of me. I like that Fed got Fed did go dirty player over kick and still got a really good kick on the anti 1-turn, but that's how it works sometimes. Half the time I find kick is just trolling me.
4 elves.
Jesus Christ. Oh, piles on a KO. Does not make it better.
Might as well use one of our two free rerolls to catch that.
Okay, well,
pass.
This is going to be a lot less interesting than we thought, because here's what's going to happen.
Fed is going to vanity pass for 6 turns and then score, and then Holing will 1-turn and we'll tie.
Yeah, that's just, yeah, I mean...
It's fair. I mean, he needs 1 more.
That's going to vanity pass and foul every turn. I mean, there are literally 4 elves on the pitch.
I mean, you'd think that.
I mean, that's what I thought after he murdered my team, Soul, so good luck. Well, this half should be real quick.
Well, at least that's good.
We do have raid in an hour and 40 minutes.
Correct.
I had wanted to PvP, but instead I went for a walk. But I did want to crush noobs.
Here comes the rat.
I am rats as well, yes. I played against Superfed, and by turn 8 I had 3 players left.
Well, if it's any condolence, we're on turn 9 or turn 10, and there's 4 players left.
Holing is doing exponentially better than I was at this stage.
Oops.
Yes, it was one of the most one-sided games I've ever played. Probably actually the most one-sided game.
I think the most one-sided game I ever played is that game in Clan where I went 0 for 8 on regens and had 9 injuries on my undead.
It's pretty good.
And then he got mad at me when I started fouling him. I have I have 3 players left.
Was that the guy who blacklisted you?
I don't know.
No, I think someone else in your clan got blacklisted. They were just like, "I'm blacklisting you. I'm not playing you anymore because you fouled," or something like that. No, that's Toast Guy. I think you're thinking of. Fed never made it to the final because he's a shitter.
No, Fed's a fairly regular competitor in the playoffs. Generally makes it very far. Always in REL 1. Very solid coach. Just always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yes, he is the Toronto Maple Leafs of Blood Bowl coaches.
No, that's not accurate. Because that implies
I
that
knew
the
you were
Toronto
gonna be
Maple Leafs
pedantic.
actually have success.
They, when I used to care about hockey, which was a very long time ago, they consistently made it to the playoffs and then failed violently the moment they got there. Oh, did he? Did he get to the final?
I don't remember.
We're all finalist shitters. I'm just teasing.
Technically,
If so, it was that. I think there
playoffs.
might have been. I think there might have been a couple of seasons ago where I didn't see the final because it was at a weird ass time, like this one, which was like 3 a.m. my time.
Yeah, same. I didn't watch this
Between
one either.
Zinj and the Big O coach that won. Darby? I think it was Darby.
Elves to space. Foul.
Just trying to outrun the murderous proxy page.
The murderous rats.
Well, proxy page is a new victim.
That's a weird sentence.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is a porn star. But, you know, what can I do? Not really, like, unfamiliar territory for me, so.
That's fair.
We were talking about, we were talking about polygamy in REL 1 briefly, and then someone made a comment about consent, and I was like, as we were having this conversation, I was literally like working on the rules on the other screen. I was like,
this seems
very
oddly
silly.
appropriate.
Yeah.
No, I haven't read like literally anything in Discord for weeks.
You missed some spicy drama today.
I don't want to hear it, frankly, because I just don't care, and all
Well,
it does
I'm
is
not
make
gonna
me
tell you,
sad
it's not-
with the state of the league.
Yeah, it's not fun. It was just like, yeah, some clan drama, but you know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read it, and I'm not gonna care about it.
It's in Div 1, which you'll never have to worry about again.
No. To be fair, we've lost 1 week and tied 1 week so far, and then knocks you out of competition. You just can never lose.
I knew you'd be sour. Yeah, I mean, we're losing. We're getting dumped out of Div 1 for the same reason. Like we lost more than one round because we had a couple of bad ones, but you know, our record is not abysmal. And
I'm not even salty about like not making REL like Div 1 because we never do. But I'm still salty about the fact that my first 10 regen rolls in clan this season all failed. I went 0 for 10 over the course of 2 games, and I just like that put me on such a bad foot for the entire rest of the season.
They might. I think it's between them and Metal, Timmy.
Mm-hmm, it is. I'll still be proud about the fact that I'm like one of the only people that won a game against J-Men when they were in Div 2.
Yeah, we didn't win. I think we actually had to because Hindus had to actually concede his game.
We didn't win the week, but I beat Wolfbarkin and Undead Mirror, which made me feel nice.
Nice. I tied Eliad. I think I could have won if I was taking the game more seriously, but the round didn't matter. I like at some point piled on a rat, leaving a gutter runner with like easy access to score because I was just like, I want to kill his natty one turner.
Oh yeah, that's what my next game is going to be like. We can't promote, so I'm just going to like, well, my mummy and my white are currently injured. I'll just accept that as a blessing because now they can't die for the next game, or for next season, and I'll just like hide in a corner for 16 turns. Like it's going to be super boring, but that's what happens.
Well, I was orcs into rats, so I just beat the living hell out of him.
I haven't even drafted yet this week. We're doing that tomorrow. I know it's kind of late, but we both have had very full schedules.
Yeah, one of those like 2-1, like perfect 2-1 grinds where you tie 2-2 because one of the teams is a natural one turner.
If the clan above us loses and we win this week, we finish 4th place instead of 3rd by 1 point because we drew 1 week, whereas the people above us drew 2 times. Like it's literally the one clan draw is what's stopping us from being in 3rd place. Like 1 point, which is 1 touchdown in 1 game at some point.
Brutal.
Yep.
I blame Chubstep.
Chubstep's actually done really well this season. If anything, you can blame me. I carried like last season, and this season I've done awful. But like I think to be
I mean,
fair,
you carry most seasons, and Chubstep does not carry most seasons, so I'm still comfortable blaming Chubstep.
I did awful this season, and I think in fairness, it was because my first like 3 games, my matches this season as Undead have been Chaos, Chorf, Nurgle, Vampires, Nurgle. And I've just died every game I've played.
I forget. I actually don't know what my record is this season. It's not as good as last season, where I was like,
my clan. Yeah, my clan is me, Chubstep, Sean Man, LEB, and Blood Bowl Dave.
Formerly me, but now I am in Rotter. Last season I was like 9-1 or whatever, but this season I am not carrying as hard.
Last season I only lost 1 game, but I tied a whole lot, which is weird. I don't like. I've talked about this before, and I'm not going to do it again. I actually really don't like the new clan like tie system thing. I don't enjoy it at all.
It's apparently overwhelmingly popular.
I really dislike it, and I think I'm probably one of the only people that does.
I mean, I guess I'm 3 wins, 4 draws, and 1 loss. I'm just like a draw machine this season. I don't lose a lot of games. I've only lost 1, but I do not win as much as I would like.
I mostly dislike the drafting implications it has, and that's because that's the part of clan I find fun, honestly. So I'm probably the... It's 3 in clan.
Sean Man is playing Brett's. He did play Rats for a while. He also... I think he mostly played Rats, right?
He played Wood Elves the first season. Then he played.
He did
Rats.
Miserably with the Wood Elves, as I recall.
He did, yes, but he hadn't really played Wood Elves before. We just had to. That was when somebody
Squiggy left, yeah.
Yeah, and we had to replace them with a person playing the same team. So like, it was like join our clan, but the thing is, you have to play Wood Elves.
It's true that like when I was like looking at I was looking down the barrel of like a potential overtime game every week or two. Like it just gets very. And it's true that it does push the format really heavily towards durable teams like Necro, Undead, Orcs, teams that can kind of stand up to.
So what you're saying, the teams that I like to play, which is one another point in my favor of why I don't like it. But that's what I'm saying. I think it's fine because I know everybody does like this. I don't personally, and that is one of the reasons why. But one of the main things for me is just the drafting and team building implications, which I think is fun. Is you don't have to draft under the assumption that you need to win all your games anymore. You can draft under the assumption where you have one incredibly favored match. Like, unless I do something really dumb,
pro fail into a self-stun.
75% of the time you should win this match, and then all the rest, all they have to do is play for a draw, and it doesn't matter. And you can win one. It doesn't happen very often, but you can win 1-4.
Oh, that's like basically what we did last season. Is
yeah,
like the meme when Shadorra wins
so
because
like I find that so boring.
Yeah, I know.
And you can also do that with team building stuff because it definitely puts, in my mind anyway, it makes it way easier to do the thing where you don't build 5 balanced teams. You build 1 super team and then build 4 okay teams, and you can even take like a team that.
Ooh, that's a snake GFI. Oh, but the ball bounced to the War Dancer who caught it. Oh no, the War Dancer had the ball already. Is that a graphical glitch? It showed the ball on the catcher for me.
The War Dancer has the ball for me.
Yes, but I know the War Dancer does now, but I thought that the War Dancer did not have it before the catcher got there. But I must have been mistaken.
Yeah, I haven't really been paying attention. I've been ranting about clan things.
I know you have.
This isn't going to be
Everyone
a serve.
It is not. It's a 2-die, though, which is what he was trying to do.
Yes, this is true.
Fed's hits on ball have not been amazing this game. Everything else has, so I don't think you can complain, but...
I would like to. This is he puts this line rat here just so the War Dancer can leap to that square and dodge away, which is
he's just trying to make it harder. How much movement does he need? 1, 2, 3. He's actually 9 squares away, so he's gonna have to score on the catcher. This is the deal here. The catcher actually has a pretty easy out. So he leaps to there and then dodges out.
Yep. Now he's in the end zone, and We dodge out to get out of intercepts, and then just throw it to him. Couple 2+. Oh, there's one that failed though.
That's not a 2+ pass. That's definitely a 3+. Yeah.
Oh right, he's not agi. Oh, a couple of 2+ into 3+.
But the 3+ is a built-in reroll, so we will go 3-3 at the end of the game.
It does not have a built-in reroll. He used a real reroll. The 2+ catch has a built-in reroll. He passed as much.
Yeah, I think Fed wanted to score is what happened there. Like he wanted to have the option to run away with the ball and score if need be. That's why he had 2 gutter runners unmoved. He was like,
that.
Fed scored when he did because he thought he could take the ball away, which I think was a reasonable assumption. He basically got the ball. Like he had 4 dice on the ball with Mighty Blow tackle, which ought to have taken the ball away. But
I'd like to point out 25 blocks and 14 armor breaks is nuts.
yeah, I mean piling on is a thing, but
That's
yeah, that is quite a bit.
That's
I mean, what's
more-
the armor? Let's look at the armor.
I have Claw Mighty Blow piling on, and I don't make armor breaks that often.
So Fed's armor was about right. Maybe a bit low, given that some of the hits were on armor 8. The elves' armor was, actually a bit high, if anything, given how many of the hits were Mighty Blow. The elves broke less than you would have expected. Their casualty dice were miserable. Like to get as many removals as he did out of 14 breaks is silly, but
Okay, well that's that game. We only sort of paid attention to it, so I'm sorry about that. But it happens.
I bet Fed is kicking himself for not surfing the war dancer, but he really wanted to win 4-2 because that's what Fed always wants to do is pump that score up. So
Yeah, he likes the touchdown.
a bit of a punish there for sure.
This is the wrong division, so let's go look at REL 1.
I mean, actually, I'm just trusting that you're right and that he could have done that. I didn't actually look. Maybe it was harder than just throwing an Agirat in there, but I'm not sure.
So we had the Voltrex Vanguard, Ramaset, and the Deadbeat X's. Elsad, Ramaset takes this one 2-1.
I'm just pulling up REBBL.net.
The Deadbeat X's, a lot of blocks coming from them compared to the Voltrex Vanguard, sort of as expected. Voltrex Vanguard taking 2 KAs and 1 KO, but the Deadbeat X is taking 4 KOs and 2 KAs. So despite doubling the blocking dice of Ramaset kept up on removals, it seems, which is interesting. None of those KAs stuck around, so regen did a thing, but a lot of KOs, especially if those KOs are on positionals, are going to make it really hard for the Necro to stop the elves from just doing what they want.
Yeah.
1 touchdown on each of the Agi guys, it's going to be really hard to stop that. Level for the thrower and a level for the werewolf. So what does the thrower pick up? We get sure hands, which makes sense, I think. And then the werewolf with Mighty Blow now has tackle.
Sensible. I mean, that's really the thing this team has been lacking is a really mobile tackle murderer.
Mighty Blow tackle.
I think honestly, Adulterous Alley should have gone Mighty Blow, if not even guard. But I think
one more SPP and you get Mighty Blow.
Yep. He'd get it faster with Mighty Blow, but that's the deal.
But if he already had Mighty Blow, he wouldn't need 1 more SPP to get Mighty Blow.
That's a statement.
Yep.
Yeah. I see. Maybe he took grab because he wants to attempt to 1 turn with Kinky Chris. I was wondering about the grab on Broy Eric, but
double movement ghoul with sidestep.
Maybe. I mean, it's still IG3, so it's real.
And it's movement 9 with sidestep and grab though makes the hardest part.
Yeah, but I mean, the back screen then is a pretty effective, deterrent. It makes 4 pluses and 5 pluses. So
well, to be fair, the ghoul is strength 3 on most 1-turners, so we can blitz our way through the back if we and save some of those dodges.
With the grab and frenzy, yeah, fair, I guess. Fair point. So yeah, looks like a good win there for Rema. I mean, that's the nice thing about high elves is that in these kind of matchups, you can take advantage of your capable bash and punch back a little bit against the hybrid teams, and if you get a bit lucky and get some removals, that can put things in your favor.
Dazed and Confused and Fellows Coatadol, Not for Science, and Acropolis. High elves
I need to pull up the predictions, actually.
Oh, yes. Tell us how badly we did. I think I probably predicted Nurgle for this one.
We both predicted Rama. I predicted Not for Science, and you predicted Nurgle.
Yeah, well, the Nurgle lost, which I should have expected, but I had a hard time not. Like, I just really wanted to, because this Nurgle team is so big and fun that I wanted to predict them. And they did what I expected them to do. Eldril is badly hurt. Prince Moranian got movement busted. Badly hurt on Tanare, who also leveled, and this is the new Tanare. Badly
So
hurt.
many iterations of Tanare.
This is like the 4th Tanare, and I want to see what...
The other one was was the strength guy, right? No, it was the one.
No,
it was
the
one
natural one turner.
Yeah.
But this Tanare has just got blocked so far. No, this is like one of the biggest Nurgle teams we've ever seen. It's like 2,300 or something, or it was 2220.
I mean,
it
did things. 49 blocks is quite a bit. 21 breaks. 21 breaks not turning into much. 5 removals is pretty. Well, not pretty low.
This reminds me very much of my game against Not for Science, where I played Nurgle against this High Elf team, and except it was in better shape then. And I did the same thing, where I basically left him with like 2 elves, but then I made a huge mistake that was 100% me being stupid, and just gave him an opportunity to score, and then we ended up tying, I think, instead of me winning, which I should have. Or I ended up losing instead of tying, which we should have. I don't remember the details, but I remember I forgot Fend existed, and that was basically the whole reason why I didn't do the thing there.
I forgot Sidestep existed in my game against Soul, but thankfully he also forgot Sidestep existed, so he didn't get to hit my ball. But we both had a bit of a dough moment.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I can block this elf, and like if it works, it works. That's great. I can get another Mighty Blow hit on him, and if it doesn't, well, just a push is fine. Like I'll just follow it, or what? A push is fine. And then I forgot that elf literally had Fend, and I couldn't follow it, and I just pushed him off my Beast of Nurgle, and then he ran away, and I was like, ah, damn. That I'd never claimed to be good at this game.
Fend is a skill.
Not for Science picks up the win with a touchdown on one of his catchers, probably from the thrown pass from the thrower that completed we got 3 passes on Tanare though.
I mean, Not for Science is a fan of leveling players, as we know. So
definitely got one there. I imagine like this feels very Not for Science-y to me, in that like he was probably just didn't have very many players, managed to get that one touchdown right near the end just with some sort of elfy play. And
I mean, he had 13 players and he only suffered 5 removals. No, 6, I guess. Yeah, 6.
Were there no KOs? I guess not. No, it was 2. He suffered 7
total, but he probably got those back.
And then we had Volcano and Talk Show Terror, Mongoose versus Our Name is Legion, 2-1 for the Chorf, which I think was probably expected here.
We predicted the Necro would win, actually.
Oh, that's weird. Why would we do that?
Remember, Mongoose is pretty battered.
Oh yeah, he was missing a bunch of Chorfs. He only had like 4 blockers. That's right.
This is a big win for Mongoose because it puts him at the top of the table, actually.
Yeah, this is interesting. Like he only had 4 blockers, and I thought that might have been hard, given him like almost 0 bench, and the Necro could just run away. There's very little guard that the Chorfs could have done stuff with. He's kind of relying on the Bull Centaurs to do things.
Both got exactly 51 blocks. One got 21 breaks, one got 20. The Necro got 5 KOs and 2 Kaz. The Chorfs got 5 KOs and 3 Kaz. So very similar. They both took 1. This is almost a perfect mirror.
They both actually took 1 real Kaz because of the regen and Apo usage. They were both on non-relevant players, zombies and hobgoblins. Like, wow, that is.
Yeah, I wonder what happened here. Looks like Mongoose was able to pull it out.
Touchdowns coming from 2 separate hobgoblins. So there you go.
I mean, scoring on a rookie hobgoblin with no SVP screams like
desperation. Like this is my only choice,
play, or and something worked out, maybe,
or like a 2-turn, or this is literally my only scoring threat, so I have to do it this way, kind of thing.
There's a completed pass from a zombie to level.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Turn 16, like vanity pass or something. Let's see what we get there. That is nothing. Hasn't taken the level yet.
Guard would be nice, but other than that, you've got all the utility skills, really. So
yeah, you just take another block or like a wrestle or something, so you can put them on the line and be slightly less likely to die than somebody else.
And then we have Monster Bash versus Rat UTD Legends. So
it's Rat United.
I don't care. We predicted that
someone doesn't follow football.
I predicted Finns and you predicted Elsod. No, it's not Elsod. It's
It's
Tech 19.
Finns
I
and
got
Tech
the
19.
Necro all mixed up. I predicted Finns, and you predicted the Necro. Is the
Well,
important bit there.
I just see, this is the thing. I forget everything I say the moment we stop recapping. So every time we look at the matches next week, I'm like, why did I do that? I don't remember.
I often have the same reaction.
But I must have had a good reason at the time. Just don't remember what it was.
Unless I'm just horribly gaslighting you.
That could be it too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past you.
I wouldn't put it past me either.
Fenrir gets the MVP and a touchdown to hit legend. That's exciting.
Yeah, but he hasn't taken the level yet, so.
Oh, I want to see what that is. What do we? Let's have the little discussion here, because that's an exciting thing.
Fine.
What do you think that werewolf should take as its legend skill?
Leap.
Leap is a good choice.
Jump up isn't terrible, but it's pretty terrible.
You could even just take Sure Hands if you're going to be carrying on him.
Sure Hands you could take because you don't have a better carrier. So Sure Hands is a pretty good shout, actually. I didn't realize he doesn't have a ball carrying ghoul. So yeah, Sure Hands, Fend if you wanted to be spicy, but I think Sure Hands is the safe pick there.
Or maybe it's like a double or a stat.
You kind of wish he didn't have tackle, but I mean, you need a mobile tackle, so you don't actually wish that. But
well, I mean, on offense, you have the Sure Hands Agi Blodge, and on defense, you have the Blodge sidestep tackle. It's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great piece. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like if it had Sure Hands already, then like it would make Leap or Fend a lot more attractive, and then it could be a really beastly ball carrier. Yeah.
One Kaz came from the white, completed pass from another white, which put him in like range of leveling from a touchdown. So maybe that was the intent. The Rats completed pass.
Looks like the Rats were getting fouled and removing players passively that way, because I see 2 expulsions, but I don't see a huge distinction between the outgoing removals and the incoming removals, which screams stun send off to me. So
passive removals.
Yeah.
1 touchdown from the Strength Gutter Runner, 1 touchdown from the Two Heads Gutter Runner, and 1 from the just block Gutter Runner.
Only Kaz comes from the Agi Gutter Runner. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, a lot of SPP for Finns, and with the 3 touchdowns, so that works out pretty well for him. We had you and Soul. You won 3-1. I think I predicted against you entirely despite you, not for any reason.
You did, and I predicted that I would win.
Okay.
This game came down to a really quite lucky. Came down to a quite lucky wizard turn. I basically was in a position where 3 out of 8 scatters were within pickup range, and there was also the chance at an armor break. And if it was an armor break, he couldn't score at the very least. So it was kind of like it was a pretty good odds. Yeah, it was a lightning bolt on a ball carrier that was hanging out of the back, and it was his Agi 6 piece. So it was also pretty nice if I took that out. But it was no break, but it was one of the 3 and 8 scatters, and then it was a blizzard, and I did a bunch of 3+ GFIs to pick it up. Well, 2 3+ GFIs to pick it up, and then a pass to a gutter runner who was just hanging out. And then I think the next turn, Soul tried to hit it back and failed something. I don't remember if he snaked or 1 and 9 something. He failed somehow, and I was able to score. So I went into his drive. Or no. Yes, I went into his drive.
I'm losing a fuckload of points this week.
Yes. I went into his drive 2-0 up, and at that point, it's pretty hard to come back. So I still had most of a team. So
he leveled Dead Poodle. He lost a rando lineman, couple badly hurts. Doesn't matter too much. TD came from his non-Agi blitzer. Kaz on the same player and a completed pass. So he's getting the almost the full set of SPP there. Completed pass, TD, Kaz just needed the MVP and an intercept.
The bludge and the bludge step fend piece is also the one that also could have had a hit on my ball at some point if we both hadn't forgotten that sidestep was a skill.
Captain Amiracat is MVP of this game, even if the game stats doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
Dead Poodle, what did we pick up there? Just a lineman now has nothing because it hasn't been chosen yet. Cool. Your side, 2 TDs from BMO, 2 completed passes from Princess Bubblegum. Kaz coming from the blitzers as expected. Another Kaz on the rookie gutter runner that you leveled. What do we have?
Wrestle.
Exciting.
I mean, I'm happy to have another leveled gutter runner finally. Marceline has been dying over and over, since her actual incarnation, her original incarnation died. So
yeah, it's the Black Orc Gutter Runner Pestigore problem. You know, the fourth one is less important because they don't have skills yet, so it makes it harder to get more skills, because if you have to expose one, they're always the one that does get exposed because they're the less important one, and then you lose.
Jake the Rat actually died here, and I appoed it. And then, like, the turn before he got blitzed and died, I was like, would I appo Jake the Rat? And I was like, I think, yeah. Barely, but yes. And it worked.
And then he died, and then you appoed him. Okay, and then the match we watched, so we don't need to talk about that. And then lastly, we had Barbecue's Pit Crew versus Practice Makes Permanent, and I'm pretty sure I said this has tie. Like, either we thought the Orcs were going to win this, because
we did think the Orcs were going to win. We thought the Orcs were the most likely to win this, but yeah.
But I think we were like, yeah, this could very easily be a tie. They're both going to like score on their own drive. You know, on offense, the Orcs are just going to kind of push forward and use
the Orcs got the shit kicked out of them, though. Holy fuck.
That's what I was gonna say. And then on the Chorf drive, they're just gonna kill the Orcs and walk forward, and then the Orcs done, like, and we end up 1-1. But yeah, good lord. 34 blocks into 20 armor breaks on armor 9 with, like, I know there's 3 claw, but still not all 34 of those blocks came from claw, which resulted in 7 KOs and 8 Kaz suffered by the Orcs.
Yep.
So those had to have had. So the Orcs went first and scored.
I'm just gonna pull up Diced or Not. I think.
No, I'm not.
For the first time of the night.
The Orcs scored on their drive and they went first, and then the Chorfs went. Like, I haven't watched this game. This is exactly what I'm predicting. And then the Chorfs went and killed all of the Orcs, enough that it made it very easy for them to score, but not quick enough that it made it easy for them to then score quickly, turn over, and do it again. Because otherwise, we should have won this like 2-1 if these injuries all came in like the first half.
What's your reading?
4 Kaz from St. Louis Ribs, 2 from Kansas. He got 8 SPP. He hit Legend because he Kaz'd 4 Orcs in this game. Nice. What a monster! Let's see what those injuries are. All of them are badly hurt. 1 MNG and
a movement bust is a pain on a blitzer. Like, it's something you really don't want to have. But
yeah, but he's at least jump up, so like he's not completely immobile if he gets knocked down, and it's better than getting it on the plus movement guy, I guess. But man, that's not great. That's a bad injury.
Yeah, I mean, Barbecue Gamers dice were better than 99 out of 100, and Debt Monkey's dice were better than 98 out of 100.
Oh, so he lost by 1%. Diced.
Yeah,
just diced. 1% worse dice.
Almost diced him, you know,
completely diced. 1% worse dice. I hate that thing. I really hate it. I want to. So St. Louis Ribs is
poor Vengeful Pickle's gonna.
I'm sorry. Vengeful Pickle is a very nice person, as far as I can tell. I've never had a bad interaction with them, but I do not like your dice tool. I'm sorry. St. Louis.
I love your replay analyzer. It's great.
Yeah, the replay analyzer is great. That part is amazing. St. Louis Ribs picks up Juggernaut as their legendary skill, which I think makes a lot of sense if you don't roll anything exciting. The Orcs get nothing because, dear lord, did they just get beaten to death. But, like, that's the thing, right? With all these badly hurts on these guard, like 1, 2, 3, 4 guard just out, like, as soon as you lose 1 or 2, it becomes so much harder to protect the rest of them and stop the Chorfs from just snowballing, because the Orc in this match are all about, here's a bunch of guard, try to find a 2-die block, I dare you. And it becomes way easier when there's just less guard, and then that continues and snowballs, and you just feel sad. Okay, so after that, we can look at the standings for this week. So as pointed out, Volcano and Mongoose goes up into first place with my lights just flickered. Okay. With a 2-1-0 record, undefeated so far, only 1 draw, whereas second, third, and fourth are all tied with the 2 wins, 1 loss. But Superfed holding, like, it's still very early in the season. Mongoose is only 1 win ahead of 7th place, and everyone else is within 1 win of jumping over him. So he's got the early lead, but it doesn't mean a whole lot right now. Let's look at next week. Elsod versus Mongoose. My lights are flickering, and I don't know what to do about that. I'm sorry if it looks weird. I think the bulb is dying, yeah.
Are you sure you're not about to be axe murdered on screen?
Well, at least I'll get a lot of views.
And then, you know, the ring girl's gonna crawl out of the screen behind me.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's like Cabin in the Woods. You know, we're all gonna get murdered by tropes.
We're all gonna get murdered by tropes. Oh no, the tropes!
Have you ever seen that movie? It's so good.
No, I have not.
It's extremely funny.
Oh, that's probably fair. I mean, the thing is, I miss most of the tropes because I just really don't like horror movies.
Yeah, I don't like horror movies at all either, but I really like Cabin in the Woods because I mean, it's not like I mean,
And not for the reason that most people don't like horror movies. I find them super boring.
I don't get value out of being spooked.
Yeah. But like I have a really hard time being spooked because I just know it's not a real thing.
Oh, interesting. No, I'm like really susceptible to like absorbing feelings from media. Like if I watch a really stressful movie, it'll fuck me up for a few hours. Like I can't really like, and like not that like horror movies don't really scare me. Like they don't like shake. It's just like it's not fun. I like jumping.
Unsurprisingly, for you, given that you know me, I am 100% the exact opposite. I have to concentrate, and I have to concentrate really hard and spend a lot of mental effort to actually engage strongly with the emotions of a piece of media.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So I find the horror movies incredibly boring because they don't invoke the feelings that they're supposed to, and for you, and like the same thing, even if they did, that's not necessarily an enjoyable feeling. Anyway, so 18
evoke and not invoke, but yes.
I'm thinking about Dota. The 1860 Necro versus the 2110 Chorfs. The Chorfs are back to sort of full block.
It's hard to vote against Mongoose right now. He's
the Chorfs are back to full strength, and he just won a game without being at full strength. He still has the same sort of players. Chorfs are still pretty monstrous. Regen is a thing, and we do have a bench, right? We do. We have 3 players. But man, zombies are going to go down like chumps to the random LOS Chorf blocks.
No, sure. They have 2 players. They skipped a number.
Did I miss which number did they skip?
8.
8. I see. So they have 2 bench. So that's even slightly worse. They do get like they could get Cheney, I think. Yeah, they can get Cheney if they want, which is a thing. It's another claw to go after the Chorps, but there's only one mighty blow attached to that claw, and it is that.
Yeah, but I think like you take Cheney more for the extra high mobility wolf, like to have the 3 movement 8 pieces than anything else. And Elsod does have that movement 9 ghoul, so he's going to aggressively outspeed these Chorfs. I wouldn't be surprised to see Elsod win this, but based on the standings, I want to vote Mongoose. Like
I'm going to do the same thing. Like I would not be surprised if Elsod won by any stretch, but given that we have to pick a team, I think I picked the Chorfs. Ooh, this will be fun. Finns and Not for Science. Rat United Legends and Fellows Quadadal. 1670 Skaven versus 1590 Elves. So the Elves get 80k, which is not really a lot. Hey Finny. So we have we've got the 2 players with strip ball. I don't think Fellows Quadadal has. Oh, they do. The thrower has sure hands. Okay, and they have strip ball.
I think it was Finn's commented. Finn's was commenting on this in his game where like his last game was the only time he's facing someone without sure hands, and he didn't have a strip ball player, or that might have been something else.
He has 2 strip ball players.
They were M&G. No, I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. It's not Finn's. Someone else said that about something. Okay. I'm an old man.
I see. You just confuse Finns with literally everybody else. Got it.
Yes. Finns is when I think of an average human being, Finns is what comes to mind.
You think of the like nocturnal rat boy?
Listen,
that's your average.
Honestly, of all the shade that was being cast, I think you really upped the game there.
I mean, I don't think Finns would disagree with me. Look, his like icon is literally him with a rat face, and when I tried to schedule a game with him recently, he was just like, "Yeah, whenever your time works." I'm like, "What do you mean? Isn't it like 4 a.m.?" He's like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather play that late." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
I'm always accidentally insulting Finn. It's fine.
Well, we need to predict these. We do need to get on with things.
Okay, so rats do not like playing against elves. Not an ideal matchup. It's not the worst. Let me pull up the teams actually.
Teams in an hour. There you go. That'll be fun.
There's no mighty blow tackle. There's only block tackle and wrestle tackle. So the strip ball players on both sides are it's more relevant. Vishan is more relevant, but rats can just play the backfield.
I think I like the elves here, the rats here. Mostly just because the elves, like, they're solid. It's a solid team, they've got the blodge and that sort of thing. But the rats, like, that's not the type of thing that's necessarily good against rats, right? Especially since he's not going to have any sort of a bench, and
he doesn't have the human blitzer anymore, which is his key anti-rat piece.
Yeah, and the rats have like the mighty blow tackle piling on. If they just remove a couple elves, then they can keep up with the elves of the gutter runners, and then the elves have a harder time stopping the gutters. The gutters, even if the strip ball doesn't really matter, like wrestle, tackle, strength 3, leap is pretty good at taking the ball away from a team that doesn't have any guard.
Yeah, I mean, I buy it. I think that Finns should win this, which means that Not for Science probably will, because
that's
every time
my experience with Not for Science. Yeah. Okay, and then we have Ramaset and you. Why are you crying? We just predicted that you win. Oh, right, because we cursed you because of I see.
Yeah, I mean, he's never going to be happy. I haven't actually looked at this game yet, though it's scheduled for Monday evening. It's going to be cast by Mongoose, I believe.
If it makes you feel any better, this week I didn't remember who I was playing or what race they were until I literally turned on my stream to start playing the game. Like, that's how much effort I put in.
Yeah, but you're down in Div 3 with the nobodies. It's ruder if you do it up here.
I did that in REL 1 too. Just so everyone's aware. That's how much thought I put into these games. You get 70k, which is kind of irrelevant. There's not much.
It's a line rat. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go Babe, but I think line rat is better.
Well, yeah, he does have a mighty blow. He's got the strength, movement, tackle, 2 agi 5.
Yeah, well, I've got Scalpintro Gna.
What is that?
It's the loner I hired because he got 2 SVP, and I don't care about my shitty theme.
Oh, I see. Scalpintro Gna, yes.
It's Gna, all right?
Okay. You can be wrong. That's fine. So I think in general, I think I like Rama's chances. The one thing that I think, oh wait, never mind. He does have sure hands. I'm going to take Ramaset.
He does have sure hands. I mean, I would always get a 1 die on it anyway, and it's a 1 die with wrestle, so it's not that unlikely.
He also has a strength 4, movement 9, and which is just going to make your gutter with leap and blodge, and tackle, which is going to make your gutter runners very sad.
Well, I'm just going to never, ever worry about it unless I get a good hit on it. Like, it's just going to be something I run away from.
Yeah, your gutter runners are irrelevant for a lot of it because they're away from a person the same way as them.
They're blodge step. It'll be okay.
2 agi 5s are the sort of.
I don't like this match. I think this is. I had thought it was Soul that I was most annoyed about playing, but I think it's probably this one. He's going to want to do a lot of blitzing with the movement busted mighty blow piece.
So are you.
Yes, which was gonna be my point eventually, but hey, one of my mighty blow tackle is not movement busted, though I did forget that it didn't have piling on in my game versus Soul. I followed up to pile on at one point. I was like, the game is glitched. It didn't give me the option to pile on.
Why isn't it letting me pile on? Everybody has pile on. I taped down the button.
Well, I've played a lot of my orc team, remember, and my orc team is just both of the blitzes I hit with have piling on, so.
Never not be piling.
Yeah, I could take Rama. I'll anti-curse myself. That's fine.
Okay, just don't throw for the sake of winning 1 point in an irrelevant competition.
I don't think you understand how far ahead of you I am.
Just don't throw to get further ahead. Acropolis and Holing, ordinary elves and dazed and confused. This is more Holing's territory. Wood elves versus Nurgle, where he gets 800k.
Yeah, 4 players, one of which is a random lino.
So it's certainly not bad of a Nurgle team to be playing against elves. It has more tackle than your average Nurgle team does at this level, which is interesting given that there is 2 and 22-10. That's just how Nurgle works, it turns out. And the Beast of Nurgle is really annoying with strength 6 tentacles, but he's really the only annoying piece against the elves. Mitch Kramer is also annoying, but that's 1 blitz a turn, which the elves are pretty used to taking anyway. What's more scary is if you get more than 1 block a turn, which it's going to be hard to do with like the Nurgle Warriors.
Somehow Cropless has only played one Wood Elf team ever, and he lost. He's played 11 Skaven teams, but only one Wood Elf team.
REL 1, I guess. Frankly, I like the Wood Elves. Wood Elves and Skaven, doesn't really matter how big the Nurgle team are. The teams that do well with inducements just crush Nurgle teams.
Holing has literally never lost to Nurgle.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, I'll take the Elves.
I would too. Do you want to come say hello, cat? Hello. Make angry sounds into the microphone because I've scooped you. Yeah, she doesn't want to be here. Hello. Here, go away now. Like Nurgle often tend to be very big. That gives more inducements to the teams that do very well with inducements, and then Nurgle can't really deal with those inducements. Like, it's just bad for Nurgle, really. Det Monkey and Our Name is Legion. Practice makes permanent, and Talk Show Terror. 1890 Orc versus 1820 Necro. And his team is not as badly beat up as you'd think, given the 9 injuries or whatever last game, because most of them are badly hurt. He's missing one Blitzer, which is annoying, and it's the piling on one, so he's out a little bit of damage. But really, that's not what matters as much in this match. What matters is the 6 guard and how the Necro are gonna have a really hard time hitting anything with their good players.
Yeah, they have to play pretty fast, and this is not the Agi Necro team, so it's going to have to be relying on 3+.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a very anti-elf Necro team, so I think it's at a pretty serious disadvantage. It's got... it does have a pretty deep bench of 3 zombies, but that's not going to matter in the drive when they all get removed.
It's even less about removals and more that the Necro just are not going to be able to hit anything.
He fired Stephen Gobert. He's now Stephen Gobert number 4.
Oh. I think I like the Orcs just because it's Necro can win this because you can be careful and snipe Orcs with the Claw like Wolf, and we can do to the Orcs what the Chorfs did. And if we remove one guard, the next guard is easier to remove, and then the next guard is easier to remove. And that continues. We have to be really careful to do that, and this is the type of match where 1 or 2 bad plays can just lose you the game as the Necro, because the Orcs can punish you, and it's going to be hard to recover. So I think I like the Orcs.
Me too.
I got Gamer and Tech 19, Barbecue's Pit Crew, and Monster Bash. 2,000 Chorfs versus 2030 Necro. These are Chorfs with 3 Claw Mighty Blow. St. Louis Ribs, as a reminder, did injure 4 players in the last game, 4 Orcs by himself. Monster Bash. This is the more Agi Necro, though, right? We have 2 Agi 4 Wolves. We have an Agi 4 White. We have an Agi 4 Ghoul. They're pretty much elves compared to the Chorfs. The 2 Agi 4 Wolves with the movement 8 are going to be such an annoyance for those Chorfs, I think.
That's what pulled pork is for.
That is true, but there is only one of him, and there's 2 of the werewolves. But
even TV.
On the other hand, St. Louis Ribs is going to just crunch through players one by one. 1 bench for the Chorfs. The Necro have 3. 3 bench for the Necro and the Agi for the Necro makes me feel pretty good about the Necro, honestly.
Yeah, I think all in all, I'm a big fan of the Necro here.
I will agree with that. And then we have Superfed and Soul, 1530.
Okay, well, this one has to be contested because we've agreed too much.
Okay. And 1870 Dark Elves. So we just saw Superfed annihilate some elves. I mean, they tied, but I meant annihilating in terms of removing players. These ones should ideally be slightly less hard or slightly less easy to remove, given the armor 8 instead of armor 7. But they're also harder for them to one turn and harder for them to shenanigan for the most part, other than Tony Stork. 2 movement 5 linemen with guard is actually really annoying. Like, the guard is very useful as elves against the Skaven because you can like sort of protect your ball quite a bit easier.
Yeah, Fed has less guard. Like I mean, that's what Soul plays a very bashy matchup against elves. It tends to be a lot of basing. So, and no claw for Fed does mean he has to rely on Mighty Blow number 8. Excuse me.
The bad thing though is that those elves are both movement 5, and so the rats can like just run away from the guard, and then you just can't really, if the play gets too far away from the guard can't really be impactful anymore.
Oh, he's also got Bruce Bunny, a guard blitzer, so he'll be doing
true. At least one.
Yep, and the Witch Elf is pretty dangerous.
That's true.
On top of obviously Thor, God of Thunder, being a solid rat hunter.
Well, Fed can't remove everybody 3 games in a row, right?
Sure. I mean, I'm taking Fed because Soul can't beat rats to save his life.
Yeah, I mean, that was my initial thought as well, but you said they have to be contested, so I guess I'll take Soul. I'm already behind. What bad could happen? Okay. Glowing endorsement of Soul. I think the guard is also going to be.
I mean, Soul would be the first to agree. He was like, I can never break rats. It's just a thing.
Okay, so then over to 3A. Lustrian Slayers versus Dance Monkeys. We have Terrandal versus Rise of T-Man. Rise of T-Man wins over the Lizards. The Kislev beat the Lizards and level 3 players in the process. That works out well for the Kislev. I don't think that's what we.
You actually predicted the Kislev.
Did I? Oh, good. Good for me. I did a thing right.
And I predicted the Lizards, so.
The Lizards suffered 0 Kaz and 0 KOs. And the Kislev suffered 6 KOs and 3 Kaz.
Lizards can have a hard time with Kislev because they can't protect their ball very well, just because, it's carried on a skink.
Yeah, that's true. And we have generally, they're 3 pluses for the leaps, and they're not really very easily re-rollable, but if they work, they work, and then it's hard to stop them from going after the skinks, especially with players like Sergey, like the Wrestle Agi 4 with strength. And then the catchers with the Agi as well. Diving tackle, pretty annoying against skinks if you can't do anything about it. Let's see these levels. Leonid, Konstantin, and Dimitri are the 3 that leveled. So Leonid, I think, they haven't been taken, so we do not know what they are. Oh, Dimitri took dodge, so that one's been taken. Dimitri has dodge, but the other 2 haven't taken their levels yet.
I mean, one is wrestle guard, so I don't fend, I guess.
Yeah, it's the the doubles problem, right? You need doubles, and when you get it, you want to take it, but they've already taken wrestle. Yeah. What? I don't even remember what Kislev have. Is it just general? Are they standard linemen?
The standard linemen are just general access.
Okay. Fend. Yeah, probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could give him kick. I wouldn't hate kick, actually, because you're never going to put him on the line. It's not terrible.
And you're always going to want him on defense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a terrible piece for kick.
He leveled just from the MVP. The touchdowns came from the Agi lineman, one of the catchers, and the other catcher. So that's not too surprising. We had Beeftown Brawlers and Hindi, Zebus. I always do that where I say one team name.
I said Hindi would win and Hindi got the shit kicked out of him. I'm happy to lose that point.
From 2 till Can versus Beeftown Brawlers. Vampires versus Dwarves. The Dwarves win 2-0.
Tune in next week for more unbiased coverage of your divisions.
Yeah, welcome to us. People... I don't know why they let us do this. I don't think we do a particularly good job of actually...
I don't actually have anything against Hindi other than that's the meme. But,
Yeah. I mean, we embrace memes and have bants, and I think that's really what people care about in these things. So 35
all the
blocks.
thralls died.
Yeah, 35 blocks, getting 14 armor breaks. Vampires suffering 5 Kaz and 6 KOs. Just at some point, there just aren't enough players to accomplish very much, and that's the difficult.
But did Hindi get diced?
I don't care. Yeah, all the thralls just kind of getting removed at some point. All badly hurts and only 1 death though, so the bench is still intact. 1 Kaz and 1 completed pass from a vampire, but vampires potentially vampiring themselves a little bit. Like, they basically never had the ball. They had it for like very, very little of the game. So, maybe the dwarves went on offense first and just beat up the vampires. Vampires couldn't stop it, and then there just wasn't many players left for their own drive or something like that. Or even the vampires tried to go on offense to do the quick score thing and then failed something, because vampires, it turns out, are pretty good at failing things. If they have bad dice, it's just hard to recover sometimes. Thack Grimly, the Troll Slayer, picks up a level from a touchdown. So the game is pretty well in control, I think. Either the game is pretty well in control or things have gone horribly wrong if your Troll Slayer is scoring your touchdowns.
I think probably the former.
I think so too, given that he's a rookie, so we probably did that very much on purpose.
Oh, and nice MVP on Bahrain puts him one SVP away from leveling to get another blocker with Mighty Blow, which will be nice.
Yeah, that gives his Troll Slayer Mighty Blow.
Mighty Blow, yeah.
His Troll Slayer has Mighty Blow, which makes a lot of sense, and I think is correct. Then we have Dung and MyStays, Radioactive Frogs, Pandemic at the Disco, 1-0 for Dung on the...
God damn it, the first time I vote against MyStays, you pick the rats. This is where you're getting all your points back.
Oh, good. He has a rat ogre. How can you not vote for the rat ogre? His name is Narbam.
That screams basic name to me.
Basic bitch rat ogre. Zoom 22.
It probably isn't. It's probably something weird, but
Zoom 22, the gutter runner picked up a level for Dung, which is nothing yet. TD came from the Two Heads gutter runner, Kaz from a rando lineman, and from Glart, who we induced for this game.
Glart MVP.
Yeah, but this only 1-0 for the rats. They were never crazy ahead of things.
The rats did almost as much blocking as the Nurgle, though, which is insane.
Yeah. I don't think you did miss you. We haven't.
You have not missed you.
No, we have not. You have not missed you. The rats, just kept up on removals with the Nurgle.
I love the block of twos after armor breaks.
Yeah, two. It's all very symmetric. But if rats keep up with removals, against Nurgle, the Nurgle just lose. It doesn't matter if it's 1-0 or 3-1 or something.
You are fucked, for sure.
You just can't do very much when the rats are you need more players than them to do stuff against their higher agi and higher movement. Although Black Death of a Bachelor, the guard Nurgle warrior, got a great MVP to level him and keep him in line with all of the other Nurgle warriors, which is wonderful. I would take Mighty Blow there 100%. He took dodge. That works too. I would also have taken that if I rolled doubles. Blodge Guard. He's going to be forever leveling, but it turns out it doesn't matter because Blodge Guard is kind of good enough, especially with Stand Firm and Strength 4, Foul Appearance and Strength 4. Stand Firm is just a bonus at that point, but it is helpful. So Dung picks up that one. I'm surprised it wasn't by more. Maybe it was a bit closer than we would like to believe. Then we had Jasperosaurus and Vormaren, the game that we were thinking about watching because it was recommended to us. So let's take a look at this.
As I understand it, Vormaren was really, really close to winning it, or at least tying it. And some nonsense at the end kept him out of it, even though he was playing down quite a few players. So dead on a guard lineman is a bit unfortunate, but he does have quite a bit of guard on this Kislev team, so that's okay. Kislev players die, you get used to it.
Yeah, it's annoying, but you can't be too sad.
Yeah, he did badly hurt killing in the name of, which is nice because that's the most mobile killer.
There are 4 Claw Chorfs on this team though, which is
the Kislev actually outbashed the Chorfs in terms of blocks, at least.
Not in terms of armor breaks though.
Not in terms of removal or in armor breaks, yes.
Or surfs, weirdly.
I don't know if you noticed, but in Not for Science's game against the Nurgle, whoever played the Nurgle surfed the elves or the rats twice.
That's funny. Sideline cages, eat it. No sideline cage for you. TD came from the rookie catcher, which is nice to start getting leveled because they are pretty useful, especially when they actually get skills. The guard, as we've already talked about, is annoying. Missing the better Chorf for the next game is a thing Jasperosaurus will have to consider. We have Callisti Maya and Fall, those guys, versus Here We Fall. I don't remember what we said about this one either. I feel like I
We
probably said fall.
predicted that Fall would win, and he did.
Uh-huh.
We predicted
So-
the Charts would beat the Kislev, which they also did.
So Kalisi Maya with 43 blocks versus the 24. So getting more blocks, which is definitely what you expect. Also turns into more arbor breaks. Elves suffer 6. I say elves. They're elves, right? Yeah. 6 Kaz and 2 KOs.
They must have induced an Apo because there's only 4 Kaz showing. So they had
that's big.
Yep, dead on the strength 4 Agi 5 Blitzer.
Oh, well, some other people in the group are probably thinking Kalisi Maya right about now.
Yeah.
That's a big loss. That feels bad for Fall, but people who have to play him probably feel good about it.
Yeah, my game against Soul ended with him like fouling BMO with a squad of players, and I was like, time to be div hero, but
this is fair. Yeah, 5 completed passes from Fall with the 1 touchdown, like probably a bunch of vanity passes in there. 1 touchdown coming from a rando lineman and does level him. That's Little Bighorn 3. Picks up what? Just block. So it is Blodge now. And the Alamo, the one with Kick, got the MVP. So Kick becomes guard. Guard Kick is nice because you're always going to have him on defense and keep him not on the LOS. And guard is just good on elf teams.
So good game removal wise for Calicity, but not quite enough to pull out the win. Classic chaos.
Yeah, very chaos. You know, this is probably one of those games that could have very easily have been a tie if, you didn't roll that 1 on a GFI, or maybe you picked up the ball a turn earlier or something, but it probably would have been hard to win it. Shank Twinkle Toes picked up a 2 Kaz for 4 SPP and a level, which is Claw, which makes a lot of sense. I think he's got a bunch of guard already, and having another Claw in the team, especially on the strength 4, is very handy. Scorpion TBC and Troxbirds tied 0-0.
We had predicted the Lizards, actually.
53
surprise on a guy here. It's unusual for Lizards to get shut out for sure. Especially one with a movement 9 Agi 4 skink.
Yeah, Callisti confirming pretty much exactly what I said. Is it was down to turn 16, right? So you had a couple dice rolls to make, whether it's a couple 3+s, like a 3+ and a 2+ or whatever, to tie it, and then it just doesn't work and you're sad.
I have no idea how Scorpion did not score with a movement 9 sure feet sprint Agi 4 skink.
It's best not to question these things and just accept reality.
I don't want
to. Floating Toad suffered 3 KOs, 3 Kaz. Goat Work Orange 1 KO, 4 Kaz. Like, they just punched each other and decided to forget about the ball, I think is what happened here. No actual removals. There's a niggle on a rookie warrior, so it sucks, but he's dead.
The ball was actually on the ground for almost half the match, so yeah.
Like giant scrum in the middle of the field where they're just punching each other to death and no one can really pick up the ball because it's just lubricated in blood. Seems how this game went to me.
There wasn't a lot of Kaz. There's a fair amount of Kazing, I guess.
Interesting. He's not fired yet, but he probably should be. You can afford anyone anyway.
Yeah. So Goat Work Orange did Apo something, obviously not the niggle, and the Lizards also Apo'd something, so there were a lot more removals than are showing. They just got better.
You didn't need to watch my game. All of your maybe this happened did happen. So there you go. It's almost as if I've played bash teams against elves several times and lost 1-0 or 2-1 before.
Yeah, I've given up on the bash, except for the orcs. The orcs are basically just perfect.
And then Sleeping Souls versus the Cathartic Carnivores, Gazgul and Negatron. Gazgul, I think we took Gazgul for this one.
We took the Necro, actually, so we were wrong.
Oh.
But, I was really on the fence on this one, and I really wanted to take the Norse, but...
I think we both were, if I recall.
Ooh, Dead Berserker, probably. An armor bust on a piece that wants to get on the ground is not usually a good call. I say this owning an armor 6 palm piece, but...
Yeah, but you, I don't know. I feel like I would probably keep him. The Palm Juggernaut tackle is just nice to have, and it's going to be annoying not to have it. Maybe once 4 Simple Words gets another level, in 7 SPP, then you replace Love Iron Song. But I think I would keep him for now. We did get, speaking of levels, to take you home, the runner does pick up a level. And that is Dodge. Dodge. Boring, but sensible.
Okay, so hilariously, you trumped me as badly in Div 2 as I trumped you in Div 1, or Div 3 and Div 1. So we remain tied at -3 and -3.
That's hilarious. That's really funny.
Oh, I'm sorry, -6 and -6. Don't get too excited.
Yeah, we're both equally terrible, but in different ways. That seems like a very good, apt description of our relationship. Equally terrible, but in different ways.
Yes.
Couple badly hurt. The also 2 MNGs. We're going to the next game with 0 Blitz or Berserkers, which is going to be an issue for this Norse team, I think.
RUFF rough. Also, only 1 Ulf. They have 2 runners and an Ulf and a Yeti.
Guard zombie died, which is annoying, but it happens. There's no point in having a guard zombie if you're not going to put him in places where he can get hit, because that's how guard works. And they're going to be useful until they die, but they will die at some point, and then you're just glad they were around, but you're not too sad when they go away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very play him until he dies with Finn, but he also gets removed on turn 2 like half of his games. He actually survived the entire game versus Soul, but he just did basically nothing. I think he got 1 Kaz, even though I was blitzing with him like every turn.
Speaking of symmetrical games, 3-3-4-4, like...
Yes, that is quite a thing.
Both suffered 4 Kaz, both suffered 3 KOs, but Gazgul just got his...
And then it kind of alternates with the 1s and 0s.
Also very symmetric. Gazgul just got his touchdown in before he lost too many players, I think, and the other side probably cannot, or the other thing cannot be true of Negatron, probably.
Yeah, I mean, he must have gotten the ball down against the Necro somehow, which is impressive given the state his team was in, but
yeah, he didn't have the ball for as much as the Necro did, so maybe he scored on his own drive and then just sort of like defended well or something, and then the Kaz came in. But after that, REL 3A looks like this. Dung with the radioactive frogs out ahead by an entire win at this point with a 3-0-0 perfect record. So Dung's off to an early lead. And then we have MyStay, Zebus, Hindi, and Negatron all tied with 6 points for second, that 1 point behind Dung. So all still competitors for that second spot. But Dung does have a bit of an early start. And then Truxbirds, Gazgul, Scorpion are all just 1 tie away from that as well. So a lot of mixing up that can be done so far. And let's look at predictions for the next week. So Gazgul versus T-Man, 1220 Norse versus 1680 Kislev. The Norse have no players. Game.
Well, Norse inducements are pretty good. They can get chainy.
Yep. They have Boomer or Bomber or whichever one it is. Boomer, I think. Yeah, the dwarf blocker with... He's armor 9, which is why why Norse love him. He's armor 9. You can put him on the
That's not why Ornan loves him.
Ornan likes him because he throws bombs, right?
Because he yeets. Eats hot death. And
yeah, we're gonna get 600, or we get 400k, which is pretty significant for Norse.
There's no tackle, or there's 1 tackle. There's no mighty blow. There's 1 claw in the Yeti.
Norse loners are pretty good too, just because they're just block
linemen. They're fine, yeah.
Which is pretty solid.
You can make blocks with them and not feel too bad about it.
That's the thing you most often end up having to reroll with loners is those like 2 die blocks that roll 1 in 9s, and that doesn't matter with the Norse.
The Norse are going to get a lot of inducements, including a wizard and maybe Cheney. I still feel pretty Kislev happy here. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I like. There's a lot of block, which the Kislev have like 0. They have 2 block on their team, so even the loners are going to be able to push the out block the Kislev for sure. But strength 4, agi 4, and the agi 5 players are going to be pretty hard for the Norse to deal with without any actual positionals.
Like the Kislev just can't play bashy here. Yeah, they have to play
kind
of elfy. And they've got the guard advantage. Yeah, they got 2 over 1, and they've got the bear, which is nice in this matchup for the armor and its mobility with break tackle.
I think I will take the Kislev. Oh yeah, right. Diving catch and very long legs. I didn't even think about that. But the thing is, you don't take him for throwing. You take him to be a block armor 9 guy that you can put on the LOS and not care because he's cheap. When you don't have that much else to do with money. We have Cathartic Carnivores and the Floating Toads. Negatron versus Scorpion.
Hey, it's Necro with a wizard versus... Oh, no, it's not with a wizard because they don't have the 20k they would need to scum it. So
It's Necro with 130k.
Necro with a bribe, which is almost as good, versus Lizards, who hate playing against Necro. There's no tackle at all on the Necro team, but none of the Skinks have blocks, so that's fairly moot. There's only 2 guard on the Lizards, so they won't even have the huge bash advantage. I like Necro. I always love Necro in this matchup, but
well, yeah, the if the Necro are playing right, the Werewolf is going to get a couple good snipe sort of hits on exposed Saurus. It should be pretty easy to hit 1 or 2 over the course of a half, and you're going to remove one of them with Claw Mighty Blow piling on. And then the Necro or the Lizards are down a bit, which is hard for them to protect the Skinks. Anyway, and then they can't protect their Skinks against the Wolves just running around. Flesh Golems and Zombies can tie up Saurus pretty well.
Though, interestingly, Megatron has only played Lizards once and he lost.
Oh.
Maybe he doesn't
have the Floating Toads done against Necro.
They're 1-1-1. Which is one of their worst records because they have quite a winning record.
I think I like the Necro as well. Callisti Maya and Troxbirds. Chaos. Here's the mirror. It is 1870 versus 2050. Well, let's do the old count, shall we? 1 bench for Goatwork Orange. 4 bench for Callisti Maya. So if he wants to, he could even just cut a Beastman or 2 and he just cut a Beastman and remove a large portion of the inducements, right?
Well, the Trox is also at 180, so there's an extra 30k in there. So it's actually 1870 versus 2050. So
how much are Beastmen?
60.
So it's going to be and Callisti is going to fire 1, he says. So it's going to be 1990 versus the 1870.
So 120k plus he's got 150k, so he could get a wizard pretty easily. Does
he care about a wizard though?
No, yeah, in this matchup, sure, yeah. It's not like you're not going to run away with it and score that turn like elves, but
and he's absolutely going to buy a new warrior, I think.
Oh, he's got to buy a new chaos warrior. That's fair.
So let's call the bench situation relatively even then. 1, 2, 3, 4 guard versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guard. 1, 2, 3 Claw Mighty Blow versus 1, 2.
Can you even call Mimosa Claw Mighty Blow, or is he just?
Well, he's Claw Mighty Blow piling on, and the warrior is Claw Mighty Blow piling on. And there isn't a Claw Mighty Blow piling on over here.
I like Callisti's team more, I think.
It's really hard to evaluate that. But I think I agree.
What's really funny is that their teams are pretty similar in terms of development. Yeah. Callisti has played, 19, 29, 32 games, and Troxbird has played 60.
So there is a wrestle tackle strip ball, and there is no sure hands for Callisti Maya, which is a weird thing to consider in a chaos matchup.
I don't think you consider that.
It is a thing that's there.
It is, but he's just going to cage. Who cares? It doesn't have 2 heads. It's just an Agi 3 movement 6 lino. It's not going to... sure, if you ever leave your ball exposed, he's going to take it away, but so would a wrestle tackle piece. It's not really...
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mucky Funster is way more dangerous. The wrestle tackle Agi 4 one,
Yeah. And I think, the inducements aren't enough, I really think, to make up for some of the differences. The warriors are a little bit more
We'll also remember the inducements are going away. So rookie warriors are 100k. So Troxper will actually be 70k up from so it'll be 1970 versus 1990. So they're going to be.
There's no inducements.
Yeah.
The warriors are going to be pretty similar, but one of them will be a rookie versus 0 rookies, and then one of them has more strength, and there's like less injuries lying around on Callisti Maya's team. Like, not that that's generally something you should always consider, but like an Agi 2 player with jump up is not going to jump up as often. He's also movement 5, so you can outrange him a bit. One of the guard pieces is armor 7 Agi 2, so like the dodge is really irrelevant other than hitting him. Okay, we should be back. Sorry about that weird crash. What you were saying is that Troxbird's
Troxbird basically only wins if his Claw Palm fires, because Callisti's only got Claw Mighty Blow, so he's got pretty significantly lower chances of removing on those couple of blocks.
Yeah, and otherwise there's just more Claw Mighty Blow, but it's not attached to Palm, and one of the Palmers is both Agi busted, movement busted, and has no block. I think I like Callisti Maya's better.
Callisti should be able to shut that player down.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have Fall and Jasposaurus. Here we fall Bulls on Charade, 1550 High Elves, 2040 Chorfs. High Elves have a movement 9 and a movement 8. They get a bunch of inducements. The Chorfs have a ludicrous amount of Claw Mighty Blow for a Chorf team. But they don't really have... They've only got 3 guard, which seems low for Chorfs. And the High Elves get like 500k, which is not insignificant.
Counterpoint. Fall has lost 80% of his matches versus Chorfs.
Fair enough. Let's go with the Chorfs.
And Chorfs have literally never lost to High Elves, so...
Okay. Kislev and Nurgle. Kislev Acrobattlers and Pandemic at the Disco. 1590 Kislev, 1870 Nurgle.
I'm curious what my worst matchup is. I don't think I've ever looked at that tab.
I'm too afraid to look at mine.
I think my stays will win, because I'm just going to keep doing that until it burns me to the ground.
I mean, I think that's probably fair. Like, Kislev get inducements, but it's not that important for Kislev, and Nurgle would much rather be up.
But they get Slibly, Ben.
Oh no, I have Claw Mighty Blow and also Strength 4. I will remove Slibly as soon as possible.
That's not how Slibly works.
It is every time I've played him. I've killed Slibly like 8 times.
Slibly is either a 100 blocks or 1 block kind of star player.
I have a player on my team named after a Slibly that I killed, because given that you can't make him a zombie, he should have been a zombie on my team. So I bought one and named him Slibly.
It's basically like OBS crashes on Ben.
It's an OBS
an hour and a half into the stream. Like I mean, he has no idea why.
It's probably because I have my recording and streaming set to do like 2 separate channels, and like it's not a file size thing, because the file size isn't consistent, but maybe there's some sort of file size range for the recording part of it that it doesn't like. It's probably something to do with that, because it tends not to happen when I'm not recording. So it's probably something to do with recording. And given that nobody cares about the YouTube versions of these, and they're actually kind of annoying to edit and put together, I should probably just stop and then
you should just like let people watch the VOD, like literally every other recapper.
Yeah, maybe I'll give up. It'll solve the crashes and it'll save me time. It feels so bad to not do it, because I can make them better, But I think if I were playing the Nurgle here, I would feel pretty good about it, I think. So I take the Nurgle. Yeah, see, at least one person watches them. So there you go. From 2 till Can versus Radioactive Frogs. Skaven versus Vampires. Skaven with 400k versus Vampires.
Skaven like playing against vampires. Story over.
Yeah, that's probably fair. And, vampires.
Yeah, I mean, they do not have sure hits. Though actually, they don't have strip ball. The rats don't have strip ball.
The vampires have a Mighty Blow tackle.
They do.
So they can remove 1 rat a turn.
They can. They're going to be up against a wizard, and the problem is the wizard, really. Like, Vamps are just so fucking slow.
Like, I'm fairly confident it's a recording thing, but I don't know exactly what it is. But I know, like, I don't know how to fix it, but I know what it is, if that is answers the question. Yeah, I think I like rats. And then we have the Beeftown Brawlers and the Lustrian Slayers. Dwarf versus Lizards, 1700 versus 1710. This is a beefy, chonky matchup.
Okay, we have to pick contested because we agreed too much again. This is the opposite of last week. How do you think this matchup normally goes? Do you think Lizards normally beat Dwarves or the other way around?
I mean, I feel like it depends on how leveled the Dwarves are. At low TVs, Lizards. At medium TVs, probably Dwarfs. Just because of the guard. Like, the Dwarves can actually start to punch back and not get tied up by the higher strength once they have enough guard to cover it. And then the Dwarves are less likely to have a player, like, randomly go down because thick skull and they don't have skinks.
I think Lizards almost always beat Dwarves. But let's see what the stats say. The Lizard player has faced 3 Dwarves and won 100% of the games.
The Dwarf player has fought 3 Lizard players and won 66% of the games.
Okay, well, both coaches well-versed in this matchup.
Strengths 4 Troll Slayer with movement 6 is a thing. Movement 7
runner tackle. The tackle runner is nice. One of the big the big thing here is the movement, but that's the only speedy piece. Well, the movement up Troll Slayer is nice too. But movement 6 is pretty easy to outrun. Movement 7 is a bit harder, of course. And it's kickoff return, so you're less likely to get that kind of random backfield fuck up thing.
2 of the Saurus don't have block, which is surprisingly annoying against Dwarves.
I mean, it's not surprising. It's just very annoying. And there's also one with a niggle, which means he's going to be targeted by the Mighty Blow player a lot. It is 3 guard to 1,000-ish.
Roughly 1,000. That seems about right.
5. Actually, it's not that bad. It's just 5. Bench situation is no bench for the Lizards to no bench for the Troll or for the Dwarves. Less relevant, though there is 1 niggle kicking around.
I have a hard time choosing, but I picked the Dwarves.
Okay, I'll take the Lizards.
I figured that's what you wanted to do, so I took the Lizards or the Dwarves because you needed a contentious one.
I mean, it's not actually. I think a lot of Lizard teams would be favored. I don't know if this one is.
Yeah, I think that's fair too. Like, I'm pushed a little bit towards the Dwarves because they have more guard, which is to be expected, but they also have 2 strength players, which is like kind of guard in the sort of sense where they can even out the blocking game against the strength 4 Lizards. So I think these Dwarves are probably better suited against these Lizards than most Dwarves are against most Lizards.
Correct.
Okay, so that's that. Let me bring up the title screen. Thanks everybody for hanging out. This has been the preview of week 4 and the review of week 3. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We'll be back next Wednesday, but maybe Thursday, generally always Wednesday, roughly the same time. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you then. And until then, I'm in Steakmittens.
And I'm Shadorra.
See you folks later.